don't see it from the edge. Dailies, debris and other plants. I'm not ready to the other hand. Since you like it through my hands. We get your sample coming. Off like they turn to the twilight horizon, sinking like they tied into the sand. I'd like to watch that sunset rise again, so I can go back to being me again. To tuck it through my hands, I'm me again, I can be again, yeah, yeah, yeah. And look into my hands, I'm me again, I can see again, yeah, yeah, yeah. And look into my hands, I'm me again, I can be again, be your man. To look into my hands, I'm me again, take a look again, yeah, yeah, yeah. Got these tags on me, say I belong to, and I think it wrong to put the tag on just to make me smile.
Lots of sumacs here. And then over here, some big patches of the Balsamorrhiza sagittata, the arrowleaf bitterroot, which is perfect time of year to see it here in late April. This is a hotter, drier spot, so this will finish before most of the other stuff around. These are big bushes of it. It's very gregariously placed around here in these tight little kipitose clusters. Oh, what's that? Is there a bug? Oh, it's a butterfly. A little orange underwing, enjoying this tasty polleny member of the Asteraceae family. I'll identify this later. I know there's 100 of this genus, probably just in the surrounding 1,000 kilometers. But flowers are a good spot to see flower visiting and pollinating insects. Here's some Toxiscodrian venenosum. It's, see if I can focus, there we go. It's a monocot in the Melanthiaceae family, also known as death camas. Sometimes mistaken for wild onion, but it's poisonous and deadly. There's quite a bit of it growing out here. I haven't really encountered it before. Before the flowers open up, they look a lot like, I guess we'd say garlic. Focus. You can always focus or not focus at all. There we go. Kind of look like garlic flower clusters. They have that little pointy bit sticking out at the end. Definitely don't want to try to forage these and eat them. Be very bad for you. There's quite a few. Oh, I almost sat in the Opuntia. That was lucky. Okay, let's get up. Nuts. See that? Some more longleaf phlox. I saw some blue flowers over here. Or was it over here? Must have been over here. Here we go. There we go. This is some Nuttall's delphinium, or larkspur. It's Delphinium nuttallaniana, or very close to that. There, another poisonous plant you don't want to be mucking around with. Those death camases, there's actually a specific species of bee that lives in the dirt out here, and it collects the pollen specifically from that plant. Kind of a neat piece of information. Well, let's say stepped on that one. Oh, that one's not a... Now there's an edible plant. That's a salsify there. Going right next to the death camas. These you can eat. These will kill you. There's some nice flowering Lomatium macrogonum. So there's some there, and there's some more there that's not flowering. And then there's lots of these rosids here. These are antelope bitterbush. It's in full flower. That smells really nice out here. Got some little eriogonums here, which are buckwheat. But then look at these flowers. Look at that. Definitely see how it's a rosid. It's got those rosid type flowers like apples and things have, or roses if you pick them apart. And lots of phlox, long leaf phlox. More flowering antelope bitterbush. Look at that habitat. Here's a fully flowering death camas. It's got the 6 petals, groups of 3 or 6, just like your lilies and onions and other monocot plants. That's what the flowers look like. They got the big pollen spreaders there on the tips. Can't get very close. Poison warning. Well, since it's late April, the Prussias are all flowering. So the Prussia tridentata here, that's the antelope bitterbush. It's very fragrant. You can just smell it everywhere you go. You can see it's got the 5 petals on it, like rosids, in groups of 5. Unlike the death camas, which has groups of 6. Very, very fragrant out here. Something like a rose, but also kind of oily. When the leaves all grow in, they'll be oily too. They're not related to the sagebrush. They have the same little trident leaves that are very glaucous and tough, but they have an oily kind of smell to them. The sagebrush out here is Artemisia tridentata, and they, same species name, not even closely related, because these guys are the Rosaceae family, Rosaceae, whatever, and sagebrush, but I don't see any right now, but they're bound to be around, are in the Asteraceae family. Oh, here we go with the delphiniums again. Walking this way. Amanda's somewhere out there looking for snakes. Wow, look at this. This is some flower here. This is quite the flowering. Like just yellow and fluffy with flowers for incredible distance. And these all smell really strong. So I'm walking around in this warm rising air of floral fragrance. It's very sandy here, and there's cacti everywhere, so I gotta watch where I step. I'm not really looking where I'm pointing. And lots of phlox, lots of eriogonums. And oh, we're almost made it to the rocks here. Maybe we'll find some reptiles. So here by the rocks, there's some long, tenderly looking leaves coming out. Some of them have like multiples, and they'll probably have a flower later. This is a sagebrush mariposa lily, Calicordia macrogonus, and they'll have a pretty monocot typical flower of like 3 and 6 kind of groupings of leaves. And over here we have some desert achillea, or yarrow. I can't really tell the species, but it's a very pubescent species. It's got a lot of hairs on it. It's got that sort of glaucous look to it too, typical of the desert. Fern-like leaves. It almost has like a carrot look to it, because it'll have like an umbral of flowers on it. But it's not a carrot, it's an Asteraceae. Well, here's an interesting little beetle on me here. That'll be fun to identify later. Looks like a ground beetle, something in the carabid maybe. I'll find out and post. and shake it off me. And then some sagebrush. And that's another one in the Asteraceae family. And that is Artemisia, which is the wormwood tridentata, because it's got those little trident-shaped leaves there with the little 3 little fingers sticking out at the ends. Also known as it has 4 or 5, but 3 is the rule. And then some dead looking lots of, it's probably actually dead. Yeah, it's actually dead. And here's some alive. This is Rus genus, one of our sumacs. Not to be confused with poison ivy, which is all over the place here and you gotta look out for, but it doesn't usually have the branchy stems on it this time of year. It'll be single stems coming up, and you'll sometimes see little fire. Oh, and some Eriogonum here. That'll look nice. I always like how glaucous these look with their deserty kind of fuzzness to them, the peach fuzz. What else can we see from here? More of the arrow leaf balsam roots. And what's that fuzzy guy over there? So it's hard to tell what kind of plant you're looking at when they're not flowering yet. I'll get a little closer and see if I can figure it out. Well, now I'm close to this plant and I've touched it, and it smells really, really fragrant. I'm understanding that this may be Madia elegans, which is an Asteraceae family plant. And it has a yellow flower, kind of like a little sunflower or like a daisy. Later on, I guess I'll have to come back here and verify that, but the smell is really curious, and it's very sticky to touch. It's got a lot of little stiff hairs on it, and yeah, it's really smelly. It smells strong like a tea tree, so it's sort of spicy and vaporous as well, like it's got a vapor. Can't quite put my finger on what it smells like. Kind of like what lavender smells like, but not like lavender. Like almost like turmeric and cleaning agent or something. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see when it's in flower. And I'll go look at some of these rocks and see what I can find. Lots of hiding places under these kind of rocky areas. There's a big flat rock. The kind of place where you find snakes, like deep under the bushes or hidden away. Oh, there's a cool plant. Coming up here, it's some type of saxifrage, by the looks of it. Not sure which one without the flower, but it's very rubbery and desert-like. There's some more sagebrush growing, and this is a mock orange. You see a lot out here in the hills. Oh, cool, and it's like one of these coral bell guys here that grow out here. Nice to see. And some quartz. There's a big hunk of wild quartz. Probably fell out of one of these cracks here. Oh yeah. Intrusions. This is probably a good place to mine for gold or silver. I mean, with a great deal of mechanical destruction, one could achieve that. Oh, and there's a nice looking current. There's going to be a wax current going right out of the side of the mountain. And some club mosses and some more those coral bell plants. Yeah, so what I call coral bells are Euchera. I'm not sure exactly what the species is. It's not rubescens, because they have pink flowers usually, and these ones, if you look up here, you can see there's a white inflorescence coming up on the spike. So, but there's lots of them growing here. They love this dry. And there's some ferns that love the dry too. These must be woodies, or woodsia ferns. They like the dry. The mosses here are almost dead, but they're still green. You just wait for the rain and they start bursting out like this. They're just everywhere. And this is all facing like a lot of sun, so they get hot and dry here on this rock face. All these lichens. Lots of sumacs. Still watching out for the poison ivies. We'll see those soon. Oh, and there's more of those death camas. There's death camas is all stretched out and gone to fruit. There's what the fruits look like. And there's some more death camas with the flowers. The closer you get to the rocks, the farther along flowering plants have gone. Lots of the Mariposa lilies, but no lilies yet. Oh, but probably see them soon. Thought I saw some over there, but it was just a bunch of phlox. Sun's starting to go down a bit, so it's cooling down. It's gonna get nice. Snakes might start coming out. And oh, here's what you don't want to touch. This is what it looks like. This is poison ivy in the springtime, and this is about as far along as it is right now because this is right in the sun. Look how glossy it is. That oily substance, that's urushiol, which I am super allergic to. I can't even eat cashews. They'll make me uncomfortable, shall we say. I can't even eat a mango without getting mango juice on me. It'll cause immediate rash for 2 weeks. Like, I'm not joking. This stuff is nasty. There's the berries from last year where the seeds dwell. There's some nice new growth. There's nothing greasier than a fresh new growth on a poison ivy. Ugh. And this is Toxidendron radicans, or Western/Rydberg's poison ivy. And this is what it looks like. These sticks coming up. And they look like that all year round. Like even in the wintertime, there'll be sticks. Here's some nice ones putting off new growth. And pretty soon they'll be pretty filled in here in green. You won't even be able to get around here without touching them. And I always have to be very careful getting around. And they go right next to sumacs. The sumac's dead, but these are all sumacs. And they used to be the same genus. So Rhus, R-H-U-S, was the genus of sumac and the genus of poison ivies. So what we call eastern poison ivy, Toxidendron radicans, was Rhus radicans, and this would have been Rhus rydbergii. But it's not that now. We've split that apart. No lumping this in with the sumacs. Although what they call poison sumac is Toxidendron, and it's not a sumac, it's a Rhus. Or no, sorry, it's a Toxidendron. And that's very similar to Japanese lacquer tree, which is, I think, Toxidendron japonicus, but it might be something else. If it is, I'll say so with text. Oh, someone found something cool. What'd you find? Uh-oh. Holy. Uh-oh. Yoink. What'd you find?
Is it appropriate for camera?
Playing devil's advocate here. Camera appropriate. What could she mean? She could have literally anything behind her back. So, let's find out. Okay, yeah, it's appropriate for camera. It's a head of a chucker. That's a chucker, also known as a red-legged partridge. Yep, that's a severed head.
The whole body was up there with feathers.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting to find this.
Plug for Okanagan Farm Zoo. Yeah, well that's cool. Of course, we're not taking it home.
Oh.
So you can chuck it. You can chuck the chucker.
That's me, but I wanted it.
Hey babe,
What?
it's a chucker.
I don't care.
Poison ivy. Yeah, we're getting into the poison ivy now. It's creeping out. Yeah, she's not allergic. Not yet. I wasn't allergic once until I made the mistake of digging in an oxbow to catch some Anthrodontis hagni spiders. Or greasy little buggers. Oh, this is cool. Let's go in the cave. The poison ivy cave. Holy, something moved. That's a lot. Okay, I'm not going in there. That's a lot of poison ivy. And lots of woodsia ferns. Look at that. All kinds of places to hide. If it wasn't for the poison ivy, it would be very cool to camp here. You know. And then there's the wax currant. The little ribis cerealia there. Look at that. That there's a nice looking one, and it is in situ. I mean, it's spooked, but here she goes under the rock. Nice Crotalus originus, the northern Pacific rattlesnake. Second one I saw, but luckily I got the camera out in time to see that one. Any more around here? Possible. No, maybe not. Zoom out. Lots of hiding spots like under this big hunk of last year's Aragonum, or Aragonum. So it's a buckwheat, and these are all the last year's growth. And if you clear it away a bit, you can see this year's leaf growth. They look nice. There's another nice little snaky hiding spot. Lots of cracked spots under the rocks. Oh, here's an antlion right here. This little funnel. See these under rocks a lot. Ants will go into that and they'll get knocked down the hole by the antlion. If I could find an ant, I'd demonstrate. Maybe later. Okay. Amanda went on ahead and told me that there's some critters around here. So let's see if we can see them. Well, that's a big piece of quartz. Lots of places to hide. Little cracks in the rocks. Like that's a good spot to hide. That's a good spot to hide. Lots of those ferns. Oh, I hear something making a hissy sound.
The baby's in there.
Oh, uh-oh. I can hear it. Oh, I can see him. Let's see if I can zoom in. There's his face.
I almost stepped on him. And he was out.
Not focusing very well, but you can see his little flicking tongue and his little face peeking out. And it's making a noise. Saying, don't bother me. So many hiding spots here. There's probably lots of snakes like and all this stuff. I don't want to disturb them too much. Yeah. Oh, I like those ferns. Yeah. Yeah, lots of hiding spots here. Oh, there's a walkie zone here. Wonder if any wandered up here. Oh, who knows? Oh, cool. Here's another area going on. Not the usual broadleaf ones we saw below. This is Aragonium, or Aragonum, sorry, Heracleoides. It's another buckwheat in the Polygoniaceae family. So, yeah, this totally looks like a rhubarb, right? It's in the same group as your docks and your buckwheats. More identifiable by the flowers. And when the seeds come out, they have like a flat sort of fin look to them, like three little fins on the edge of the seed for no doubt wind dispersal. These guys have a lot of like dead patchy undergrowth, and then they just send the stuff off to the top. So they're a lot like lavender in the way that they grow, with the fuzzy leaves. Not much smell to these guys though. All right, we'll head back down to where Amanda is, that away. So looking at the snake area here, there's this big patch of Philadelphius lewisii, which is your Lewis's mock orange. And if you want to see something cool, I don't know if you got an eye for geometry, but if you like hexagons, or you know, botanical chemistry, or I should say organic chemistry, this plant is laid out in like these hexagonal shapes. Like everything's a hexagon. You got like these little hexagon angles here, you know, doop, 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 doop. And you look at just layers and layers of hexagons. So if you're a big person on pattern recognition, this one will probably really stick out to you. Just about anywhere you see it, you see the almighty hexagon. So back to these woodsia ferns. This is Woodsia scopulina. And it just loves these dry, deserty things. It must have some really deep rhizomous growths that go deep, deep under the rocks to find some moisture, because you know ferns aren't the biggest desert plant, but this is definitely grown in the desert. You always see it in the rocks though, like in cracks of rocks and even up on the rock face. So if I look anywhere up there, I looked in the cracks here. There's going to be some ferns. Well, that's not a fern, but that's where you'd see them. That's actually a sumac. But some grasses. Well, anyway, you see these a lot in Hope, where it's a little damper and they grow a lot bigger. But here, the whole plant is just like hand size. And if you have some xeriscaping, it'd be cool to have some of these. I don't know how transplantable they are though. There's a fresh little one peeking out here. And they're very sparse. They don't have big broad leaves. They have thin little dry succeeding leaves. Yeah. Here's a family Glossulaceae, which is in the Saxifragiales order. That was too many syllables, whatever. Wax currant, Ribus cereum. So this is an edible. The berries are edible. Although people don't tend to like them that much since they have sort of a dry, astringent taste. They just kind of draw the moisture out of your mouth. They're an orange fuzzy berry, and these love this hot, dry desert area. So they have little tiny leaves that you know, aren't huge. So they don't lose a lot of moisture. They hang on to it. Rough, tough plant. Anything here you touch is rough and tough, kind of leathery. Same with these. Same with the bitter bushes. Like that one over there, that beast. Or most things anyway. Sumacs are pretty rubbery, but they have something else going on, I'm sure. Boy, on this side of things, it's nice. The death camas is just fields of it. Fields of death camas. The death fields of camas. And smelly flowers. Here's another one of those plants that I tentatively identified as Madia elegans earlier, with the fragrant, sticky, hairy leaves. And this one has last year's growth on it. And if I look at the last year's growth, you can see it has those little feather chucking little spread out sepals here where there used to be, you know, a flower. That kind of looks like that could be the remnants of a daisy-like member of the Asteraceae family. So far so good. Here's some blank ones there. You can see the sepal remnants there. No petals left. A little bit of fluff left on some of these. The seeds. Yeah, that's Asteraceae, whatever it is. But is it Madia? Hard to say. Maybe later we'll find out. Growing next to all the death camas. Oh man, would you look at this? This is just awesome. I love the rocks when they're all like this with vertical little slits between them for the reptiles to hide in. The flowers like to grow up on the side here. Oh, choke cherries. You can kind of recognize them by the long inflorescences where the flowers will come out. Going all up along here. Oh, what's that? Let me get a little closer. Jeez. Try to get close to that plant, but there's a rattlesnake under there. You can hear it, but I didn't see it. Yikes. See if I can find him. I can hear him. It's probably deep under there. Cannot see. Anyway, it was a mock orange. Doesn't matter. But there was a rattlesnake there too. Now we're on the north side of the cliff, gone around the corner, where things are even further along. So where things were just starting to open up on the west facing side, over here on the north facing, or sorry, the south, pardon me, south. Take that, rewind it, replace it, opposite direction. South facing side, things are much farther along. So the sumacs are more opened up, and if you shake the bitter bush, the flowers just are dropping their petals. It's got a little dark here now because it's later in the day, and I'm seeing snakes running away. So more likely to see them now. They tend to move around outside of their hiding places when the sun's not cooking them. There's some more yarrows. These ones are a little bit more opened up. Still not sure of the species. Here's last year's flower, and this year's just starting to open. Lots of poison ivy, tall poison ivy. Oh, I just touched something. Was it poison ivy? No. Okay. Ooh. That's poison ivy right there. Tall. That's right up to my chin. Poison ivy. So turn around. There's some big Mariposa lilies. Might come up soon. Lots of them. They're everywhere. I see them a lot, really high up. Poison ivies in here are super duper abundant. Just that's all poison ivy. The white stuff, the berries, the leaves. Nasty. There's Amanda. Almost caught up to her. Whew, rocks are dropping from high up. This one down here, it's got some like quartz crystals. These are broken off, but you can see they're very like polygonate. And then there's this really sparkling looking quartz intrusion that splits this rock. Poison ivy. Look at that! Like a big old ponderosa pine, just showing how big this cliff is. It's so big. I hear the birds. Sounds like some kind of a, I don't know. It's whistling, whatever it is. Got some cactus. Okay. Lots of yarrow under this big rock crack. Poison ivy, oh my god. Just gets worse and worse. I knew it would. I've been here before. Look at that. Crazy. Oh. There's a frog up there. Making frog sounds. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. That's kind of a high place for a frog to be. Pretty far from water. Oh, some kind of a thing must be going on here with this solar panel setup. I wonder what it's connected to. Probably whatever that thing is. Might be a radio thing for finding snakes, perhaps. Locating them. I don't know. Usually they carry those around. A mystery. I'm sure some naturalist will see this and be like, oh yeah, that's our study. And say nothing. Wow, this boulder is cool. Let's see the intrusion it split off from. Poison ivy, oh! I'm gonna regret this. Oh boy. I touched that. Uh-oh. There's a big patch and vine of Clematis logisticafolia. That's a western white clematis. It's not really showing any flowers just yet. It's not the showiest flower. It's got a white wispy flower. And the seed head on it's more interesting. It looks like a truffula tree, all kind of floofed out with tentacles. See that the leaves, or the stems are opposing. Like that, and they got little tri-leaflets that come out, also opposing. Don't see any flowers yet. There's some nice little buds coming out. Probably see some flowers in a month. They're growing all up the side. You see them overgrowing short trees, and the trees die, and then all you have left is this big bush of clematis, and then it dies, and you just get like these big bushes of burning fire stuff. I don't know where to go here. The poison ivy is literally all around me. It likes the hot, dry, unlike the eastern poison ivy, which favors the damp, dark, and the climbing. It doesn't climb at all. It's got no hair on the branches like the eastern varieties. It's just these barky, tall branches that grow sometimes into short trees, and it's hard to get around them. Like these ones here. Look at that. All that is poison ivy. The sticks. Not an ivy or a vine like you think, but sticks covered in nasty oil that's invisible. If you touch that, it gets on you just like motor oil when you touch a motor. You want to try to wash it off real quick with pumice and whatever, but you can't see it, so it gets in your skin. It takes a while to get in your skin, but once it does, there's the allergy. Look at this pickenate beetle here. He's a huge one. cave beetle. It's a type of darkling beetle. To defend itself, it'll put its butt up in the air and it'll exude some nasty substance. This one's big. That's a big beetle. Little lines on it. Oop. It might be a broadneck. Can't really get a very good focus on it there. Yeah, maybe get a little bit of a video here now that he's stuck on a stick. Look at that. That's a pretty one. He's come out at night and eat roadkill, like bugs. See all kinds of praying mantises out here that get eaten. These guys come out and smell them on the road, and you'll see these running around on the road, just ambling along. And away he goes. There's a small patch of Physalia linearis. If I can focus. Focus. It's not very good. So yeah, that's closely related to the heliotropes. It's a family Boraginaceae. Maybe let me focus on that scorpionoid flower configuration there without having to make it difficult. Let me just physically zoom in. There we go. So yeah, Physalias have a way of having their flowers sort of form this like hook-like structure. This one's really hard to tell since it's so small and bundled together with little round growths. The sepals are kind of wrapping around the thing. But one thing about Physalias is that well, there's not much left for pollen, but usually the style sticks way out past the petal. Here we got some with the little stamens there sticking out. Some Physalias will really project that, such as your scorpion weed Physalia, or silver Physalia, or whatever they call it. Find those around here sometimes, but not today. Just the threadleaf Physalia. Getting up. Those stinky flowers are everywhere, by the way. Where did that guy go? No, it's a rattlesnake. It's a baby. This is why you don't grab a snake before you identify it, because that snake would turn around and bite me, and I'd go to the hospital, and it would not be a fun time. I might lose a finger or something. Not a good time at all. But he's out in the open here. At his size, being in last year's neonate, he's a possible food source for night snakes, which will eat these, as will racers. So let's hope he gets himself out of here, because out in the open, it's easy to get eaten. It's like everyone wants a picture of this guy. I can't get this to focus. Well, let him go. He just go off on his way.
Pretty little guy.
Yeah, it doesn't make a peep. Can't even see anything. Let's look at the end of that tail. You can see that you can't see anything. Oh, rattly. So if you don't know what you're looking at, you're in danger. Well, trust me, it just looks like a black tail tip. Here's another one. Just getting into here because this is a cool chunk of quartz. Look at that. There's a place where the quartz pushes up on the granite looking rock here above it and creates this sort of a lensing. I wonder what kind of minerals could be found deep inside in the cracks of this quartz. Maybe gold? Maybe. Very quartzy and solid. It crumbles a bit. But not exactly collectible quartz. Not so deep in the poison ivy anymore. Came back this way. Oh, jeez. Well, that'll surprise you. Eating sumac, eh? She looks like she might be dropping a baby soon. Just flip this little rock here, and what do we got here? A Paruroctonus boreas. That's a male too. You can tell by that long flappity thing coming out from underneath it. Oh, he's so fast moving too. One of me thinks to me, hey buddy, would you want to be friends? Yeah, right. Anyway, oh, try to get this rock back on him without causing him to freak out too much. They're very tiny, and the sting isn't very serious, but they do sting. Okay, what's under here? It's a Phidippus johnsoni. What if he'll stay still? Probably not. Nope, he's gone. Saw that big Lomatium earlier, and here's another Lomatium. Lomatium tritornatum. It's already finished. No leaves left on it either, but you see these carroty dill type flowers. It's in the Apiaceae family, so it's a carrot. It smells a little bit carroty, but not much. Look at this dense patch of Lithophragma parviflorum. So many. These ones have just, let me stop wiggling. Stop wiggling. They just have 3 little sub petals on each of the 5 main petals instead of 5 like the ones that grow by my house. Maybe these are actually different species. They still have the same sort of deeply lobed succulent leaf, the rubbery base, kind of pubescent stem. If I can find it, we'll isolate it from everything else here. No, there's the stem. Yep, very pubescent and rubbery. And the leaves look almost like kind of like geranium leaves or delphiniums, but they have 3 lobes, 3 main leaflets, and they're deeply lobed. Yeah, that's cool. Each one's tridentfoliate or tridentated. Saxifrageaceae family. It's a saxifrage. Well, if you wanted to really punish somebody, you could just like walk them out here and then steal their shoes, because it's really hard to see, but everywhere you walk is just Opuntia fragilis, little cactuses, and it's like sand, and you think you're fine. Nope, there's another one. Oh yeah, look at this. Everywhere you go is just dense little patches of cactus. You've never, even like loose ones have just found their way around. You'll never get home because you can't walk across this in your bare feet without agony. Agony. One time we took some kids here. A little girl got one in her shoe and she said, "Oh no, I got a prickle." And we got it out. She was not expecting that. Parking lot is straight ahead. Holy smokes, lots of people there.
Drifting off like they turn to the twilight horizon, sinking like they tied into the sand. I'd like to watch that sunset rise again, so I can go back to being me again. To tuck it to my hands, I'm me again, I can be again, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then look into my hands, I'm me again, I can see again, yeah, yeah.